Senator has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I oppose this budget for a number of reasons, and I'd like to explain what those are. I want to start by addressing the teacher pay plan and K-12 funding. The pay plan just isn't all that. I got an email from a 21-year-old veteran teacher. This is what he says. For me, my longevity is the bulk of my raise, quote unquote. I will only get $500 as an actual raise. The rest is my longevity. So this is not a raise at all. For young teachers, it looks big, but they're actually only getting back pay for their steps, and then it stays flat for years. If you average their raise, it's not a lot of money. The budget eliminates longevity pay. Senator Suchek raised this point earlier, and on page 51, quoting section 9.1D, it reads, in lieu of providing annual longevity payments to teachers paid on this salary schedule, and for this year and subsequent years, the amounts of payments are built into the salary schedule. The budget eliminates longevity on a going forward basis. Once again, teachers are being asked to give up something they've earned in order to get something that they should get. We don't need to punish the teachers every time we do something good for them. This budget eliminates incentives to teachers to go out and get a better education, get a master's degree so they know their information and can become better teachers to our children. Master's pay incentives on a going forward basis, gone, eliminated. I didn't hear about how this budget is firing 3,300 TAs this year, not to forget that we fired 3,500 TAs last year. I didn't hear about the 5,000 teaching positions from last year's budget that were eliminated that continue not to exist this time. I didn't hear that this budget is going to hit every single family in North Carolina that has a high school student with a $300 fee, essentially a new tax, because they're going to have to pay for their driver's ed going forward. This budget declares so going forward. I didn't hear about a $9 million cut to after-school programs for at-risk kids. I didn't hear about the budget abolishing the Teaching Fellows Program, which gets bright and energetic young people into our schools, the type of people we want teaching our young people. I didn't hear how this budget continues and expands the vouchers program that drains needed funding from our public schools to subsidize parents sending their kids to unaccountable private schools. Taking a big picture view of this budget, one way to do that is to look at what have we done on K-12 in the past. Well, this budget actually spends less on K-12, both on a per-student basis and in absolute dollars, than we did 6 years ago in 08-09, according to the Fiscal Research Division here at the General Assembly. Again, according to Fiscal Research, we are investing $330 less per student today than we did 6 years ago. We are 48th in the nation in per-pupil investment in our kids. We must do better than this, and this budget doesn't get us to where we need to be. Perhaps the provision that authorizes the North Carolina Education Endowment Fund best sums up your approach to funding K-12 education. Specialized license plates and bake sales. It ain't going to get the job done. What does it do to higher education? The university system, perhaps the strongest economic driver that we've got in the state of North Carolina, perhaps the reason why we have transformed ourselves over the last 50 years from the second poorest state in the nation to one that's got a dynamic economy and a growing population. Well, it's experienced about more than $500 million cuts in recent years. This adds another $76 million in unspecified cuts, $2.5 million on top of the $73 $3 million you had in last year's budget. As it relates to community colleges, y'all are raising tuition on community college students again. When you add the increase this year with the increase of the last 3 years, that's a 27% increase in community college tuition. When are we going to stop hurting North Carolina's middle-class families? When are they going to be the priority here in North Carolina?